This is CG Ruthless Sports. I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video.
Yo, this is CG Ruthless Sports. Let's be brutally honest, and let's get on to the topic. So what's my thoughts on Michael Silver's hot takes on Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance? So I was watching on what was going on the Colin Cowherd's show, and he was the guest, and he had some interesting hot takes that I just was caught off by surprise. So, he talks about how Jimmy Garoppolo is elite. So the question to me is, no disrespect to Michael Silver. I admired your work for so many years. I know you're a diehard 49ers fan, but I know you work in the business where you just pretty much have to be doing your job, and I get that part. But I just don't get the point of what you're saying is Jimmy Garoppolo is elite. Like, what is he elite? Is he elite for being injured? Is he elite for blowing the big game? That's the problem. You can say what you want about him, but at the end of the day, Jimmy Garoppolo is very limited. Like, what's elite about Jimmy Garoppolo's arm? He can't even throw the deep ball. Like, you have to limit what he does. Like, when you take away the running game, and you take away his go-to receiver or somebody he trusts, he has to go look for another check down. He has to look for another guy. And it takes him so long to figure out something. He holds on to the ball. He tries to look for that guy. But his next option is he either dumps the ball to Kyle Juszczyk, which is it's an outlet option, but that's where he leans towards if nobody's open, and that might be his lucky shot to go at that direction. But when you look at the difference, like, he's just a good quarterback, but not great. Not good enough. Like, you can win games with Jimmy Garoppolo, but there's nothing elite about him. Like, he just can't win you the big one. Like, he's exactly what Tony Romo was, man. Tony Romo was spectacular. Tony Romo was good, but just never was able to win you the big game. And can even stay healthy also. So there's a difference right there. There's similarities. They both went to Eastern Illinois. So they both have some respect for one another. But they just can't win you the big game for whatever reason. So the next hot take that caught my attention from Michael Silver was that he thinks Deebo Samuel is unhappy because of a quarterback switch. I don't understand that take. I think it's very confusing. I think it's kind of bullcrap, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't think Deebo Samuel gives a shit about who's the quarterback. He cares about getting his money. He cares about getting his guaranteed dollars and just come out here to play. Like, I don't even think he cares if it's either Jimmy or Trey being the quarterback. Because either way, he's getting his money, and either way, he's going to come and play. So, I think as far as Michael Silver's take on that one, I think it's just a little bit off. But what's even interesting, so you look on Twitter, he blocks majority of the 49ers fan base, which caught me by surprise, and maybe he just felt like he was going to get a lot of heat for this. A lot of heat for his take on the Colin Cowherd show. I just think he was a little bit off, and his criticism on Trey Lance, he doesn't seem sure about this guy. He's not even convinced with him. I don't get it. Was he the kind of guy that wanted Mac Jones as his quarterback? Was that what he wanted? Did he wanted a guy like Mac Jones? Maybe that's the case. Because there's just a lot of these damn media experts or guys like Colin Cowherd who are very bitter by this. Even guys like Mike Florio, they were just pissed at the fact. Mike Florio and Chris Sims, they were very pissed off that they didn't get the Mac Jones draft pick from the Niners. They were so pissed off, they even had to make up stories about Trey Lance. The media just has nothing better to do. They just have to make up some dumb shit. Like, arm fatigue is something new to me, and I never understood the meaning of it. They come up with some weird shit. So that's what I don't understand. And people are just criticizing. You know, here's one thing I can criticize for Trey Lance. The accuracy needed some work. The footwork needed some work. He just needed to get more experience. That's it. We're looking at, like, game samples. Like, yeah, he played 17 career starts in college. He threw over 300 passes in his college career, which is very little sample size of what you got for his 1-year start in North Dakota State. 2.5 games at the NFL level. You saw some of the good and bad, but you saw potential, you saw promising. So when you look at Trey Lance's film on those 2.5 games he played, overall, it's pretty solid. You give him the better supporting cast, this guy's going to elevate. This guy's going to take us to the next level. And some of these Niner fans, you don't understand the business side of what happens with the team. You don't just have a guy sit on the bench. You traded so many draft capitals. You traded multiple first-round picks and a third to get a guy like him. You don't put him in the bench for another year. You give the kid the keys to be the starter. You don't fucking bench his ass. Who does that? That's stupidity. If you are an actual fan that understands the business, use common sense. Do you really think Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch would have this guy sit on the bench for another year? Hell no. If they want to keep their job for the long haul, they're rolling the dice on Trey Lance. They're rolling the dice that this kid can be the next best quarterback for this franchise and win you a Super Bowl. They're hoping that this kid can get them the Lombardi Trophy so they can stick around the long haul and build a promising culture in San Francisco. Because that's what it's all about. You're taking the risk. You want to turn this franchise around and become a dominant team for the next decade. But most of our fans just aren't patient. They want to be on the Jimmy train. They think Brock Purdy is going to be good too. Like, what the hell? The guy might even be our third-string quarterback, or he might not even make the roster. He might even be on our practice squad. That's just how dumb it is. Like, if you are a true, realistic fan, you have to understand that you can't have this guy sit on the fucking bench. That's got to be stupidity at its finest. And if you don't believe in Trey Lance, then maybe you need to go find another football team, because it's kind of hard to be supportive of a team if you're not going to give this player a chance to begin with. Don't just say, oh, he hasn't played enough games. Oh, he has very little experience. I don't know about this guy. Like, why not you just wait and see what he does? Give it a couple of years before you judge. That's the motto. We only got 2.5 games. So 17 career starts in college. Okay. That's where you guys may have a question about. I think it doesn't matter. He's got potential. He's got the highest ceiling in the draft. And the Niners took that investment. They gamble. This is the biggest gamble in NFL history. This can turn this franchise into bigger heights. It can get us to the 6th Lombardi. Or it can just be a disaster. It could be one or the other. It's the greatest mystery that everybody wants to know. Is Trey the next best thing? Or is Trey the next disappointment? That's the one question people want to know. But in my opinion, I think Trey's going to be the next best thing. Trey's going to elevate this team. Trey's going to get us to that 6th Lombardi. Trey is going to make this team a lot better than Jimmy would ever do. You know, it's just being realistic. But let me know what y'all think in those comments. As always, CG Ruthless Sports is out. And you already know, go Niners.